Hey guys, I'm Tyrone from the Young Cynics. Alright, so this year is a strange year for the large scale films, as it feels like with Star Wars, Marvel and X-Men's output decreasing significantly, there is a real chance for more original films to come into the light. So I've compiled my top 10 most anticipated films of 2020, and I'm going to quickly go through them, quick fire style baby. So at number 10 is Marvel's Eternals. I'm not the biggest comic book guy, so all I know is that they're a bunch of ancient beings who are responsible for creating sentient life. So they're gods, basically. The cast of this film has me really interested. Kumail Nanjiani, Richard Madden, Angelina Jolie, Kit Harington, Salma Hayek has me really interested in the film. Also, Jesus Christ, Stuber is jacked. Number 9 is A Quiet Place Chapter 2 or Part 2. So I really enjoyed the first one, despite some small nitpicky things with the world, but overall I found it to be a really solid gimmick horror movie. The cast is really good, even though I can't take John Krasinski too seriously because he's Jim. But Emily Blunt is fantastic, and so are the child actors as well. I'm really interested as the trailer shows a new direction for the series. Number 8 is Wonder Woman 1984. Wonder Woman was a massive movie, and I expect that the sequel will be no different. Chris Pine as Steve Trevor is back. It'll be interesting to see how that is explained. Gal Gadot was really good in the first film, and hopefully it focuses more on the characters so that we don't end up with a messy third act like the first one. However, the trailer looks really interesting. Pedro Pascal as the villain and Kristen Wiig as the cheetah. Let's just hope the film doesn't bank too much on the 80s nostalgia though. So Ghostbusters 2016 is easily one of the most divisive films of all time, and in this film they look to be steering more away from the direct reboot and more of a Force Awakens type sequel years later, focusing on Egon's grandkids. The trailers have me intrigued, and hopefully the film keeps to a small scale with funny characters and good humour. Also a pretty decent cast led by Finn Wolfhard and Paul Rudd. My number 6 is Halloween Kills. So the first Halloween is one of the best horror movies I've ever seen, and since then the sequels have been on a rocky path. That was until 2018 when a soft reboot 40 years after the original came along, wiping out all but the first movie from canon. And it was a welcome entry. The film made Michael Myers menacing and unstoppable again, he murdered without motive, and Jamie Lee Curtis had such an interesting arc as a character still dealing with the trauma of Halloween 40 years prior. David Gordon Green is directing again, and all I can hope for is that he dials the humour back a bit. So the Bond franchise has been around 58 years, and the 25th installment so far is looking to be an absolute blockbuster. The trailer shows off the classic action with the practical stunt work, which the Bond films have become so famous for, and Rami Malek should make for a great villain. Also, the True Detective Season 1 director, Kari Joji Fukunaga, is directing, which is the main reason I'm so excited for this film. My number 4 is Dune. Denis Villeneuve is on one of the hottest streaks in directorial history, with Enemy, Prisoners, Sicario, Arrival and Blade Runner 2049 all being in the best films of their respective years, and it will be interesting to see how he takes on this classic novel and if he can hopefully improve over David Lynch's 1984 original adaptation. The cast is huge with names like Timothée Chalamet, Rebecca Ferguson, Oscar Isaac and Josh Brolin. Candyman is being remade in 2020, and a large reason to be excited is because Jordan Peele is writing and producing, with Nia DaCosta directing, and the film will star Tony Todd returning to his role in the 1992 film. My number 2 is Godzilla V Kong. It's almost a guilty pleasure for me even before I've seen the film. I enjoyed the first 2014 Godzilla. Kong Skull Island had some cool visual moments, but emotionally it was lacking, and Godzilla King of the Monsters was a mess of a story despite some really cool monster fights. However, I have faith Adam Wingard, director of You're Next and The Guest, which are great, can deliver a really solid film. But if it's anything like Blair Witch, we might be in a bit of trouble. Christopher Nolan's new film Tenet looks incredible. This is mostly because I saw a 10-minute preview before seeing The Rise of Skywalker, and it was absolutely amazing. It looks tense and masterfully directed, and the whole element of time manipulation looks really interesting. Also, the cast is really strong with Robert Pattinson, John David Washington, and Elizabeth Debicki. So that's my list for 2020. Please tell me what your most anticipated films of the year are, and remember to like and subscribe to the Young Cynics. So until next time, bye!